We're going to turn our FX30 from this to this. I'm going to explain how to build this rig and how certain parts of this rig can benefit the way that you shoot. The rig that we're using today for the FX30 is also applicable to the FX3, as both have the same exact physical dimensions. This is the kind of setup that I would use if I was going to keep this thing on a tripod, or actually use this for handheld shots for most of the day. Okay, before worrying about any of the other pieces, let's just worry about this one. On the FX30 we have a whole falcam cage here on the right, left, bottom, and on the top here you can attach this here. You'll notice that on the bottom it already has a built-in Arca Swiss plate. This will be good for our base plate later as it doesn't wiggle. This video, by the way, is not sponsored as I bought each and every piece of gear listed in this video. Alright, so to get this thing up and running, let's at least put a lens on this thing. And to start that off, we have the Sony 18-105 as this has a power zoom and it has an internal zoom, and that'll be great when it comes to just having an overall light package, yet also being able to have a wide to telephoto focal range. To make this a little more comfortable for me, on the left hand side I'm going to add a side rail. So we'll turn this thing over, take our handy dandy small rig tool here, and here we're going to use a piece by Canvate, which is a rosette mount. You'll understand a little bit later, and I'm just going to mount these two pieces to this falcam cage. Just want to mount this a little bit towards the top as to give more room for the side handle that I'm going to attach. The next piece I'm going to be attaching here is by Condor Blue, and this is also a rosette to rosette mount, and this allows us to be able to swivel our side handle. So normally I would go ahead and mount it this way, but for our overall build it'll be beneficial if we mount it this way. These pieces, by the way, have been 1/4 inch thus far. And for our side handle we have the Condor Blue trigger handle. This is for the left side. You can actually move it either or, but I have it oriented for my left hand. And it has a record trigger button here. And with this trigger handle, it comes with its own rosette mount here, and we can secure it like so. But before we do that, we have one more piece to attach, and that's actually the remote cable. The remote cable here, we attach it just inside there. And on the other end is a micro USB, which will attach to the side of the FX30. Alright, let's secure our rosette mount here, and we're going to use a 3/16 size screw head here, and I'm going to orient it just like so. And to make this less in my way, I'm actually going to wrap this around twice. Pop this door open and stick it right down there. So now when I have my camera in my hand, I can easily go like that when I'm shooting down low, or if I have it up to my chest height, then I can hold it just like this. It feels great. And then on my right hand here, I can use the zoom rocker, have access to the record button, which is also my shutter, also the dedicated record button. Feels good. Alright, I'm going to have it like so for now. If you still want more stability, falcam does make side handles as well, and you can choose to orient it on the left side or on the right side. So for me, I actually have it oriented to this side part to the left side so that I can mount it on the right side of our rig here, just like so. So since we don't have the top handle for the FX30, we won't be using it because we want a little bit more reliable of a top handle that's going to be less flimsy and less plasticky. So instead we're going to use a falcam top handle, which we're going to orient this way and slide from the left hand side. Now this is what they call an F22 mount, which is Falcam's own proprietary mount. Kind of works like a NATO rail, but your NATO rail pieces will not work here. Now of course one of the downsides to not using the Sony handle is losing the XLR ports. So what is our audio solution? So instead of this, we're going to use a wireless mic system here. This in particular is Rode Wireless Go 2. So we're going to stick this receiver right on the cold shoe on the left hand side of the cage. Slide that in right there. And then use the cord here and plug it into the side of the microphone jack here. Just like that. As far as the wireless microphone is concerned, you can put this on your talent. You can hook this up to a shotgun microphone, whatever you like. So we have our ergonomics worked out here with the side handles as well as the top handle now, but we also have the audio solution. What about monitoring though for our visuals? Set this aside over here. For monitoring our shot, we have the Mattebox Ninja V over here, and we really don't need the SSD. You could if you need to, but I personally don't with this setup, and we just need the battery. But in this case, we're going to use an adapter for your direct power, just like so. I bought the monitor with this, so if you did the same, you shouldn't have to worry about finding another one. And on the bottom, to mount this to our setup, we're going to use a falcam quick release plate here. And as you can see, we have these locking pins on the side which you can attach. Alright, quick release plate secured. Now all we need to get this onto here is a tilting accessory here for our handle. And this is also by falcam. We can just slide it off to the side here. Boom, just lock down our monitor mount here. Okay, Okay, good. Now we'll just connect our monitor to our camera with a coiled HDMI, and we're going to go ahead like so, and open up our microphone door again. Right now this is connected but not powered. So another thing that you'll notice here on the side is that this is actually kind of in the way. So that's why we had the thumb rosette quick release here on the side as so. And for me, my workaround to get this kind of like out of my way, we're going to use this piece here by Sprig. It's like silicone, and we're going to mount it on top of our handle like so. So just like that. And I'm just going to thread our cable right on through so it stays above my handle. So this allows me to be able to keep this cable out of my sight and out of my way. And I'm able to still have access to this thumb quick release and maneuver this down like so for those low shots, and upright again for those chest height level shots. With this setup already, you can go out and shoot a lot of things. Weddings, documentary, just change this adapter for an actual battery. Another thing though that I want to add to this is a Mattebox. So we're going to use a 72mm adapter ring here. This will allow us to use circular filters if we would like them. But in this case, we'll just throw on a Mattebox here from SmallRig. Secure that down. Open this up, block out the sun, and protect our lens. Alright, feels good. So although this setup is pretty much complete, the only thing lacking is a battery solution, as this Z battery for the camera only makes it last until an hour and a half for 4K, at least on the HS mode. So our workaround to this is actually using a V-mount. First things first, we're going to build a base plate where our camera can mount onto, and also have that entire rig mount onto a tripod quick release plate where we can then put it on a tripod head for further shooting. We're going to start with this piece and make sure our locking screws are facing away from us, and put this piece, which is Arca Swiss quick release, and mount it with the knob facing towards the left because we don't want it to get in the way of our battery door on the right hand side. We're going to line up our screws here, and now just secure it. On the bottom here is a 3/8, and now we'll just secure it here. Now we'll mount our tripod quick release on top of this. Make sure that the lens portion is facing away from us, and we'll just align it like so, right, and secure it. So the camera goes on top, and then this goes on top of a tripod head. Now we can slide on our 50mm rods, which are 8-inch. Move that forward there just a little bit, tighten it down. Good. Now on the back of this, we're going to attach a 4-in-1 D-tap connector here, and zip tied to this is a cheese plate with a rod attachment, so that allows us to go ahead and secure it here on the side and lock it down. Then behind this, we can go ahead and use this V-mount plate, which also again has rod attachments, and secure. So it should look something like this. We can actually move this back a little bit. Okay, now let's go back to our camera. Before we mount this camera to the other piece, we're actually going to remove the battery door here, because we're going to use this, a Condor Blue dummy battery. But unfortunately, there is no hole for this cord of the dummy battery to pass through. So we actually just have to remove this battery door. And to do that, just open it up, tilt it to the side, and there's a switch here on the side that you can push that way towards the front of the camera, and just angle it and pull it out. So like so, just stick your finger in there, just like that. Now we can go ahead and just like a normal battery, slide that there, secured. And at the end of this is a 4-in-1 D-tap, which we can plug into our 4-in-1 D-tap on the other piece. Right, back to our base plate here. Let's plug in our D-tap over here, where it's supposed to be. And we're going to slide this on top. Alright, that's enough for me. And just secure it on the left hand knob. So now we have room to go ahead and open up our swivel screen here if we need it. Alright, now we can take our D-tap from the camera and plug it into our 4-in-1 D-tap here on the side. As you can see, we have this extra wire here, so what I'm going to do is take another Sprig Secure mount here and put it on the back of the cheese plate of the D-tap. I'm just going to stick this right here towards the bottom, and now I'll just loop this through that attachment. Now it's out of our way and not dangling or hanging. Now before we attach the V-mount to this battery plate, we're actually going to use one more D-tap cable, which is this cable right here, which is a D-tap to DC, and we're going to attach this end to the monitor. So back here, and then on the back here. Because you have such a long cable, I'm going to go ahead and loop this over the side handle. And now it's out of my way. It's not hanging too much, where it interferes with the way that I'm holding the camera. And I still have some slack on the side in case I want to go ahead and manipulate the angle of the monitor. Alright, last piece of the puzzle is a BP95, and we're going to go ahead and attach it here. Do note that if you're going to use this rig on a travel trip and be able to fly on the plane, you need to use 100 or less. So don't go crazy with anything bigger than this. Now let's attach it. Great. Now let's just power everything up, turn on the camera. Alright, it's on. Turn on the monitor. Need to work on my white balance, but hey, it's on. But before you go out and buy all the accessories for this kind of rig, let me know down in the comments if you want to go and see what it takes to make a vertical rig with these similar pieces. Thanks again for watching. Now go out there and shoot for the life that matters. See ya!